Welcome to this Being in the Presence meditation. I'm Anne Ahokangas. Join me in consciousness. Allow your thoughts to be set aside for a few minutes. As we center together in the presence, bring your focus to your heart center and allow the words that I speak to be the words of your own heart. I will continue in the first person and present tense, remembering there is only oneness. Only presence being me, right here, right now. I take a moment now to just breathe and relax. I am in the presence, and I remember there is enough. I am an individualized expression of the whole, and the whole is all there is. It is the source of all. It is divine presence. It is spirit. And in this awareness, I know that I live, breathe, and have my being in this benevolent, ever-expanding, abundant presence. I am enough. There is enough. I have all I need right now for my perfect life. In presence, I am equipped with the necessary ingredients for the best life ever. Today, as I allow the awareness of divine presence to flow through me, I feel so good. I feel surrounded by beauty. From this beautiful place, I experience the overflowing goodness in my life, and I see it everywhere. I know I am whole, healthy, and complete. And today I choose to experience it fully. I also know there is more than enough of anything I choose. I know this to be true. I am worthy. I am blessed. I allow and accept this truth now. I am part of the divine, and so therefore I gratefully accept my divine inheritance. I accept and see the good in all of life. I always have enough to share and spare. I am a perfect example of what is possible with God. I allow my heart to fill with gratitude. I say thank you. I know Spirit in me as me knows the way and the how. I am the presence. I am here to realize that I am presence, being me. So I release all thoughts as I sit here in the stillness. There's just presence, stillness. I continue to relax, releasing all thinking. I am just present. The more I practice the presence, the more effective and creative my thoughts become. In the awareness of presence, I have access to unconditional love, intelligence, and power, which is presence. Here and now, I let go of all ideas of doing in my life and rest in this time of being, of awareness. I feel the expansiveness of this stillness. Here, I am totally free. I am a point of consciousness within the oneness of presence. Here there is no form. There is no time. There is no need for anything. No need for the future. Everything is already complete. I release the past. I release the future. And I open to an awareness of myself that is complete and whole. Presence is already complete, and I am already complete in presence. In this awareness of presence, I release all fears and concerns. I am here, relaxed and alert at the same time. And I realize that this alertness does not require any tension. And at this moment, I know I am so much more than this body, than this mind. I am presence itself. Right now, I realize I am pure consciousness. Consciousness is my identity. It is light. consciousness is the light. I take a moment to relax a bit more and just continue to be present without any expectations. And if thoughts arise, I observe them like clouds drifting by. Take a few moments now to just be, and I'll watch the time and ring a bell when it's time to bring your attention back. Take a deep, relaxing breath now and just be. I bring my attention now into the inner body. I feel the aliveness inside my body. I am present with every cell of the body. And as we finish this meditation, you may want to sit a little longer in the stillness. And when you're ready, start moving again. Start doing things, and know that you are carrying the presence. And with a deep breath, I release and I let go, knowing it is already done. Please join with me in affirming, and so it is.
Nost says, "Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of this world. All things break, and all things can be mended, not with time, as they say, but with intention."
So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you.
So many crying in the darkness, anger and hate are building walls. In the shadow of the heartless, blind to what connects us all, this broken world awaits the light that is you, a light that is you.
We're all looking for a savior who'll turn the darkness into dawn. But when we join hands with our neighbor, we become that beacon shining on. This broken world awaits the light that is you.
You are the light.
You are the light. We are not entering the tomb. We are exiting the womb. Find your wisdom in the silence.
That's where you'll find your voice.
When we choose kindness over violence,
Oh,
love becomes our only choice. This broken world awaits the light. We are the light.
you and me now.
We are the light.
Keep shining on.
We are the light. We are not entering the tomb. We are exiting the
Good morning, everybody, and good morning to those of you who are joining us online. Welcome. Welcome to our new home. You know, when something is new, it feels amazing, and so we start our service today. We begin by dedicating this service to the Hamilton Regional Indian Center, whose vision is creating change that empowers urban Aboriginal people. Their mission is to provide the urban Aboriginal people with the tools to achieve a balanced, holistic lifestyle. We respect and acknowledge the First Nations, Inuit and Métis peoples of Canada as the keepers of the territory upon which we are all meeting today. Join me in consciousness for our opening prayer. I recognize there is one divine essence which moves in, through, and around all things seen and unseen. It fills each and every part of my being. I know there is a plan, and that plan is good. Within the deepest parts of my being, I acknowledge all is well, I am safe, and life is conspiring for my good. I make a commitment to myself to allow and receive all Source has for me now. I live in a loving, healthy, abundant, and supportive universe. As I let go of all thoughts and feelings other than a deep, abiding peace, there is a gentle knowing I am loved beyond measure. And as I allow this truth to wash over me, I relax into gratitude. It is from an open, loving heart that I release my word into the law of love. It is done, and so it is. And now I will ask our guest, Dennis Gaumond, to tell us something about himself.
Hello everybody, thank you for braving the weather and coming out this morning. That's great. You want to know a bit about me? Well, let's see. I'm mainly a musician, have been a musician most of my life. But a pivotal moment in my life happened when my wife and my daughter and I lived in Australia in the year of 2000. And that's when I sort of, I guess you could say, put my spiritual cards on the table. I've always been a privately, quietly spiritual person, but that year in Australia, some experiences happened to me that basically had me declare to the universe that I am a spiritual being, and that most of my actions from that point on would be actions that are hopefully leading me towards enlightenment. And so as a part of that, I wrote a book, which took me 4 years of writing roughly 6 hours a day. It's a pretty big book, I guess you could say, and it's when I came back from Australia, I finished that book and put it out and crossed the country a couple of times doing a tour, speaking engagements and whatnot. And the name of the book was Why is Life? So it's a strange book that basically synopsizes a lot of different viewpoints addressing that kind of question. Everything from strange channeled information to physics and quantum mechanics and such. So that really changed the course of my life, and I did that for a while. I started up the Guelph Chant Club, which I ran for 15 years. We would get together and chant like we're going to do today. We would do that once a month, and also did a lot of chants elsewhere. People would, like what happened here, I was asked to do chants in various places. That was back before chanting became as popular as it is now. Like now, every second musician does it, but but in those days it was pretty rare. I don't know what else to say. I'm a painter, a father, a husband, an all-around good guy. And I used to do a lot of these kind of talks the thing about my book is it synopsizes, gives you essence of a lot of different topics. And so I've done talks on so many topics, from sacred geometry, sacred numbers, to the history of the church. That was an interesting set of talks. I had some people come out kind of looking at me like this, wondering why I would dare to criticize the church. And I wasn't criticizing anything, but just putting information on the table. And that's what my book basically does. It's not a book that talks about, my feelings are in there in italics, I make it clear. But basically it's not about me, it's about all this information that's out there that's what I call alternative information. Information that just doesn't get the attention it deserves. And that information is very powerful and very compelling and very important in my opinion. So
Can I get you to move your mic up just a little bit?
Sure thing. How's
Wonderful, thank you.
that? Does that mean you didn't get any of that?
No.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, anyway, so that kind of information, and I kind of guess that you guys are not that unfamiliar with a lot of that information, judging by the words that were spoken during the meditation and such. So the little talk I'm going to give today, I would also guess that you probably know a lot of the things that are going to be demonstrated by this little demonstration. But that's okay. Some people know it deep down in their gut, and this demonstration will help to bring it up and into our greater consciousness, I guess you could say. So, any questions about me? I'm a recovering Catholic.
I think there's syllables here too.
Should I just get started with the demonstration? I don't know what the... Yeah, okay. So this is something I call the L-rod demonstration. And that's because I use these things that are called L-rods. Can I stand up? I'm going to have to stand anyway to do this demonstration. So maybe we should get that figured out now. So I'm going to have someone standing right about here, Randy, and I'm going to be moving in front. Okay. So as I was saying, these little items here are called L-rods, and all they are is coat hanger wire bent into 90-degree angle and inserted into this straw, just a drinking straw. And that means that when I'm holding it, I can't manipulate it. These things are moving on their own. Okay, so this is a dowsing device, and basically when these encounter an electromagnetic field, they're going to cross like that, which you're going to see in a moment. So, any questions about that? No. Okay, you might be familiar with these. So I'm going to ask for a volunteer now, someone who hasn't done this before or seen this demonstration before, or who doesn't know me.
I haven't.
Okay, come on.
No, I haven't.
We have a winner.
Oh, winner, okay.
With your beautiful bright top. That's perfect. And what's your name?
Wendy.
Wendy, great. Yeah, that's good right there, Wendy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk towards Wendy. Well, let me get a marker. I guess a pen will do. So I'm going to walk towards Wendy, and when these encounter Wendy's electromagnetic field, otherwise known as an aura, they're going to cross. Okay, so then I'm going to mark where, how far away from Wendy I am before I encountered her aura. Okay? All right, so let me just put that in my pocket for now. Okay, you ready, Wendy?
I'm ready.
This won't hurt much. Just hurt for a little while. Okay, here we go. Just blank your mind.
Okay.
Is everybody watching?
Yes.
Can you all see the coat hanger? There it is. So everybody saw that clearly? Okay. So I'm going to mark this spot with my pen. Right there. Okay, so now the fun begins. Okay, so Wendy, I'm going to ask you to think of something that horrifies you, something that fills you with fear.
All right.
Close your eyes and think of something, as uncomfortable as that is, think of something that's very, very fearful.
Okay.
It makes you full of fear.
All right.
Okay, tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Wow, so close to
Okay, so you all clearly saw that. So what does that tell you? I had to march that far closer to her. That tells you that her aura shrunk. Fear shrunk her aura, right? Okay, that was the uncomfortable part. Now comes the good part.
Okay.
So now I'm going to ask you to think of something that fills you with delight,
Okay.
joy, with love, with happiness.
All right.
Okay?
Do I close my eyes again?
If you want.
Okay, sounds good.
And tell me when you're ready.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. All right, so you guys knew that was going to happen, didn't you?
Yes.
You knew that was going to
Is
happen.
it the same
Her
spot?
aura grew, no, her aura grew by that much, by basically a foot from the original spot. So you all instinctively knew that was going to happen, because we all know this, but this demonstrates it, like I said earlier. So here comes an interesting part. I'm going to ask all of you guys to beam Wendy. Just pretend you have a headlight of love in your chest. You're going to turn on that headlight and beam her with it. So this is the good part.
Okay.
You're going to get beamed with all this love.
Captain Picard.
Okay, is everybody beaming? Okay, we're beaming her goodwill, and of course you know what's going to happen here. Okay, here we go.
Wow.
Okay, that's how much her aura has grown. Okay, so now comes a part where I'm going to ask you all to tone. That means just choose any note you want and say it out loud, sing it out loud, gently. At the same time, you're still beaming her. Oh, here comes Barbara. Hi, Barbara. You're just in time. Have a seat. I'm going to just bring Barbara up to scratch as well.
Okay.
So what we did is we're doing something called the L-rod demonstration, where these L-rods determine where Wendy's aura is, and then we ask Wendy to think of something horrifying and it shrinks her aura, think of something loving that expands her aura, and then we beamed her with our collective love, and it expanded her aura even more greatly. So now we're about to do something where we're all going to tone, pick a note, any note, and we're going to tone that note together, and at the same time continue to beam lucky Wendy with all of our love.
Am I toning too?
No.
Okay.
Okay, let's start toning. Okay, you ready, Wendy?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, don't forget to watch the wands. Okay, here we go. We're going to walk towards Wendy. Okay, you can stop now. So it's just about doubled her aura. Wow. That's it, Wendy.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So isn't that a great little demonstration?
Yeah.
It's a demonstration any one of you can do. You can make a set of these at home and show your friends. It's a very easy demonstration to do, and in all the times I've done it, which has to be close to 100 times, it's never failed. It never fails to work. So what I'm going to talk about now, Randy, do you want me to stand still somewhere? Stand right there. Right here, okay. Okay, well I might need to refer to my notes the odd time. Is it okay over here? Yeah? All right. Okay, so this demonstration shows us a lot of things actually, but I'm going to talk about 7 key things that this demonstration demonstrates. Okay, the first one is that we are more than our physical bodies, which again, you guys all know that. Okay, we are spiritual entities having a physical experience, and that clearly shows that we are electromagnetic or energetic beings. So we are not just our physical bodies. So to speak a little bit more about that, one of the things that really excites me is in the modern era is how science is kind of catching up to mystical thought. So scientific knowledge is knowledge that is gleaned using the scientific method, empirical data. You guys all know that, right? So I just want to clarify what mystical knowledge is. Mystical knowledge is knowledge that is acquired while in a trance state. So people might, especially scientific-minded people might want to not give that a lot of credence. But the truth is that if you have mystics from all time zones, from all throughout history, in different parts of the world where they have no contact with each other, and in various states of meditation or of trance, they're coming up with the same information about the nature of reality and the way the universe works. Doesn't that give it a lot more credence? So when I say, I'm going to be using this word quite a few times, mystical knowledge says blah, blah, blah. What I mean by that is there are bodies of knowledge that have accumulated over the years, especially back thousands of years, that have enlightened us a lot about how the universe works. And lo and behold, science in the past 100 years is starting to catch up with that. And one of the key things is, just what we're just talking about, that this demonstrated, is that everything is made out of energy. Like Einstein taught us that mass, or sorry, what's that famous equation, energy equals mc squared, that energy and matter, something as solid as this wall, is all made out of the same stuff. And the only thing differentiating one form of matter from another form of matter is the frequency at which those particles vibrate. So the difference between lead and oxygen, for example, they're made out of the same stuff, and that stuff is something we call energy, which really science doesn't really know what energy is. We know what it does, or we think we know what it does, and we're trying to find out what it does and how it manifests and blah, 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 but nobody really knows what it is. And just as a slight diversion, I would say that physics has branched off into two branches over the past 100 years. The main branch is the one that's still looking for the small particle that underlies everything. But there's another part, another branch of physics that is toying with the idea that that consciousness, and that's consciousness of everybody and everything and all types of consciousness together, is equivalent to this thing we call energy. And there's been some very interesting theorizing and experimenting to that effect. So I'm not going to go into that, of course, but I just thought I'd throw that out. So the main thing, the number one thing that we're talking about here is the idea that we are energetic beings, and that everything is made out of energy. Okay? So the second point is that we are in constant communication. So let's talk about an energy pattern. We are all energy patterns. So if one manifestation of energy, i.e. in one frequency, is one note, let's say, then if you have a bunch of notes, it becomes a chord or an energy pattern. So let's think of ourselves as all unique energy patterns, a conglomeration of different aspects of energy that have come together into a pattern. We're all unique and have energy patterns. So as energy patterns, we are always interacting with other forms of energy, whether it's from the earth, from the sun, from other points in the cosmos. In fact, astrology would be a good study of how energy affects us, how it helps to form this energy pattern when we are born or when we are conceived, and then how the energy streaming in from the cosmos affects that pattern on any given day. That's what astrology is about. So that's the second point, that we are in constant communication with other forms of energy, and importantly, as this demonstration showed, we are in constant communication with each other on an energetic level. Okay. Leading me to the third point, which is that all of our actions, and by actions I mean our deeds, our words, our feelings, our thoughts, all of those are types of energy emissions. Okay, so science hasn't quite caught up to that part, where things that are intangible, like a thought and a feeling, is still actually an energy manifestation. So that's important because we are in constant communication with each other on an energetic level in ways that we don't quite understand. But it would be great if we did understand it a little better. If we were more intuitive, we would be more in touch with what other people are communicating non-verbally. So that leads to the fourth point, and that is, at the vibrational level, we can't lie. We might want to, but we can't. So when we're communicating verbally, or with body language, or facial expressions, or all the various ways we communicate, we can, in fact, deceive if we choose to do so. But on an energetic level, that just doesn't happen. We don't have that same kind of what's the word? Control, I guess. I don't know. At an energetic level, the truth is always there. And the reason for that is because, the fifth point, because the energy messages that we're always putting out are shaped by the quality of the thought and the feeling that surrounds them. Okay, so just like there, the energy that we sent Wendy when we sent her love was the content of that message was just about love. It wasn't a verbal kind of literal message. Is that making sense? It's not the easiest thing to articulate sometimes, but so using equipment like polygraphs, I think they're called, or lie detectors, we have been able to determine that when someone is emitting a message that is shrouded in love, that is based in positivity and compassion and such, it has a higher frequency. When it's based in more fear, it has a lower frequency, and we clearly saw that with Wendy. When Wendy's aura was experiencing fear, the particles that make up her aura were crunching together more and becoming more dense. That's a word that is a useful word. Density is something like when we talked about lead versus oxygen. Lead is denser. It's made out of the same stuff as oxygen, but it's denser. It's vibrating at a slower pace. So Wendy's aura was denser when it experienced fear, and it was less dense, namely the particles that make up her aura were dancing around more joyfully and more largely when she was experiencing love. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Again, you guys already know all this stuff. So, where are we now? So, quality determines frequency. So, the sixth point, and this is one that's an interesting sort of debate, an ongoing debate in the philosophical world. We have free will. But as the meditation was playing, it was saying that everything's already predetermined. The future doesn't really exist. Everything that's going to be and has been is here right now. And that's true too. So that's a funny thing about that particular question, the question between determinism and free will. You guys know, right, what that is? It's something that exists at the same time. It's a paradox. In our way of thinking, paradoxes shouldn't exist. It's either this or that. But the more we look at things and the wiser we get and the more we access different kinds of information, we realize there are a lot of paradoxes, and that's one of them. We have free will, and at the same time, our destiny and our fate is predetermined at the same time. So when we have free will, in this context, what we're saying is that we can turn on that headlight whenever we want, point it at whomever we want, whenever we want. We have that free will. We have that power. And nowadays, it seems like everything's conspiring to get us to feel like we are powerless and that we are all victims of circumstance, and that certain factions of society have the power and we don't. But that's not true. We have a lot of power, and we can choose to turn on that power and that love light anytime we want. And it's important to be aware of that. Like it's one thing, to It's one thing to do it in a demonstration like this, or to do it in moments of clarity. It's another thing to do it at all times, and to walk about in life with your love light turned on all the time. It's not easy. It's easier said than done. But anyway, that's an important point, and that's point number 6. We have free will. Point number 7 is one that really is hard to explain. We don't know why. Science doesn't know why. But for some reason, sound carries intention better. And it magnifies, it amplifies it. We clearly saw that. For some reason, the intentional use of sound is a great vehicle for carrying our message. Hopefully a message of love. So that's what we're about today. We're about using sound. Am I moving too much? Sorry. I have a hard time standing. Yeah, so we're going to be using sound today in the form of chanting together, which is a beautiful thing to do together. To practice what we're doing here. We're going to carry our intentions of love using sound. So that leads me, before I go into this next part, which is to talk about mantra and what we're going to be doing today, I just want to say, are there any questions or comments about what I've said so far? Yeah.
I just have a question. If Wendy was in her resistance, like, and she's thinking
Fearfully?
fear,
Yeah.
and we were sending love,
Mhm. Sorry?
can we change that by sending her love?
Yeah, yeah. But at that point, we were just sitting neutral. It was just the L rods were just recording her
Can you
feeling.
repeat the question for the online audience, please?
Sure. So I can repeat what I was
No, he needs to.
Because I've got the mic.
You have the power.
I have the mic. I have the power. No, the question was, when Wendy was experiencing fear and her aura was shrinking, could we have overridden that? Yes, we could have. But for the point, I understand. You know, the intent of your question is, can we counter someone who's? Yes, we can.
If somebody's angry at
Yes,
us, can we
absolutely.
put it in place?
Yeah, yeah. An interesting thing is in science, when talking about vibrations in science, there's a thing called entrainment, which is if there's two things vibrating, the one vibrating at a higher frequency will pull the vibration up of the other one. So if two people are vibrating, one's vibrating love and the other one's vibrating fear, the love will pull the fear up. It doesn't work the opposite way. That's nice to know. It's a what's called resonance, a form of resonance. Yeah.
I was reading somewhere, and I can't remember where the article was, but they were talking about the Beatles. And they were talking about a lot of the songs that they developed early on in their career, which attracted so many people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those songs were written in the key of A.
Okay.
And the article went on to say that that particular sound vibrationally is very attractive.
Mm-hmm. Well, that could
I'm
be.
not sure if there's any credence to that, but I remember reading that and thinking, wow, that's powerful.
They say that the Earth vibrating emits a note F minor. F sharp.
Okay.
And so A is the relative major to F sharp. And another interesting thing, in the Great Pyramid, in the what's it called, the King's Room, the King's Chamber. There's a big beam that that's made out of granite that they've tested for what note it's putting out A. So might be some truth to that. The Beatles might have instinctively known something.
A makes a lot of altos happy.
Say again?
A makes a lot of altos happy.
Is that right?
That's
Yeah.
good key for us.
Oh, okay, good. Yes.
I've got sort of I wouldn't say it was a negative perspective on this, but it's more of a positive. But anyways, years ago when I first started, I was a paramedic, and the first time I had a vital signs absent person, I walked into the room, and I was still a student, and I looked around, and I said, "There's nobody here," and my trainers went, right there, and I went, "No, there's just nobody here." And that was the feeling I got. I could see a body, but there was no, you know, like when you walk into the room, you could feel an essence of people in the room. And that continued on through my career, and usually it was pretty good. We either got me back, if I felt something there, or we didn't get something back. But it was a definite, not negative energy, but no energy in the room.
Wow, that's interesting. That's fascinating. But some people have that capacity, and I guess you're one of them, that can feel things at that level. I think we all have the potential to feel things at that energetic level, but
it was kind of discouraging when you walked in thinking, we're going to go through the process, but
yeah.
And I kind of worried that I wouldn't give it all, but of course it's something my partner's experience. So
interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Any other comments? Yeah.
My question is, if I'm in fear, and now that I see what you've done, can I switch myself over by toning and making an attempt to send my own self love?
Well, absolutely. In my humble opinion, I do that. I try to do that. I do my mantras basically every day, and I find them very helpful. And there's different mantras for different things. A fear, overcoming fear mantra is Shante Prashante Sarvabhaya Upasha Mani Svaha. That's a really good one. Like, here's another interesting thing. When we wake up in the morning, often we feel, for no particular reason that we can put our finger on, we feel a sense of fear or a sense of anxiety or stress or something in your gut. Does that ever happen? And there's really no reason that in your own particular life for that. So I believe that, you know, of course we're individuals, but we're also, again, as the meditation video showed or said, we are part of a collective, and that collective has feelings. So we wake up in the morning, we could be feeling what the collective is feeling on any given day. And so to answer your question, like, I find it's a great tool to use mantra or sound to elevate your own vibes. Absolutely. Chanting is great because chanting, mantras, repeating a mantra, which is what I do every day, is great. But with a chant, you have it's more like a song. It has a melody, it has a rhythm, and sometimes it's easier to summon up in your mind and to elevate yourself. Yeah.
What you're talking about, is it the same one and the same as when they talk about the common consciousness?
Yeah. Yeah, the collective consciousness that, you know, in Christian tradition, we call it the Corpus Christi, which means the body of Christ, and that we're all cells in the Corpus Christi. Same idea. Yes.
If we're going to continue with more questions, could you have Marcia go around with her mic so they can pick it up online, please?
Good point, good point. Okay.
Some of the people said that when you speak loud enough, they can hear.
Oh, is that right?
That's
okay. So I just want to ask you, Anne, how much longer do I have?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Are you Marcia?
Are you willing to go around?
Are you willing to do that, Marcia? To be our mobile microphone?
I'm pretty loud, you can hear me. So when you get up in the morning and the weather isn't your friend, like today,
right?
And we who experience headaches, is this part of the vibration from Mother Earth?
Shucks, I'm not sure about that. I mean, it just might have to do with the what do you call it? The atmospheric pressure and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but is there a way to counteract that? Like with your...
If you were a very powerful avatar, you might be able to do that.
I know it's a pressure, but I'm just saying, like, is there a way to respond to this so that you put yourself in a position where it doesn't take over?
Well, there's a way for you to block how you're going to feel as a result of that, but whether you can use your thoughts and intentions to change the weather itself. That's a good point. I wouldn't mind addressing a little bit, because it's gotten a lot of attention, and I think it's an important thing. Over the past couple of decades, we've heard a lot about something called the law of attraction, the idea that we can attract certain circumstances to us, and of course we can. But I also feel like there's been some distortion of that truth, in the sense that how do I say this? Yeah, of course we can attract certain circumstances to ourselves, but we can't forget, like what we just talked about, that we're part of a collective, and that collective consciousness is creating the reality. And in other words, if I was totally convinced with every fiber of my being that I could fly like Superman, would I be able to fly like Superman? Well, there's everybody else's consciousness acting on reality at the same time, and their consciousness dictates that, no, I can't fly like Superman. So it's important to know that, because this law of attraction thing can cause a lot of guilt. Oh, why did my son die? Is it something I did? Did I attract that circumstance? Blah, blah, blah. It's important to know that it's not that simple. Yes, we can attract some circumstances to ourselves, but we are part of a collective. There's no getting away from that. We're part of a collective. Yeah. Yes, Sansa? You need a mic.
Thank you. I thought maybe, Dennis, you could speak to the fact that we are at the present moment being bombarded with a lot of energy on the planet, a lot of light, and that can bring about a lot of symptoms that we're feeling, achiness in the body, headaches and stuff like that, and that there are, again, we can react with resistance or just let it be and use whatever tools we have, Reiki, or tapping is another tool.
Meditation, all kinds of tools.
Lots of
we have all kinds of tools.
Yeah. But just breathing through it, of course, and knowing, this too shall pass, and that this is all symptomatic of the shift, a great shift that we're all experiencing at the moment.
Yeah, thanks, Sansa. I wouldn't mind speaking just briefly about this thing called the Big Shift, which is a big chapter in my book. I did a lot of research about it back in the 90s. So there's all kinds of prophecies, there's all kinds of evidence of various kinds suggesting that we are moving into this era that some have called the Big Shift. And what Enz is referring to is that what comes with that, as well as a shift in consciousness, because again, you can't separate consciousness from energy in general, and the energy streaming in from the cosmos at this point in human history is causing a lot of shifting in consciousness and causing a lot of, like in my book, there's lists of various reported symptoms of this. For example, sleep difficulties are really on the rise. A lot of people are having difficulties having a full night's sleep uninterrupted. That's one of the bigger ones. Various headaches and all kinds of things. Without sort of analyzing it too much, just accepting the idea that things are happening to us that we don't really have a lot of control over. We only have a control over how we react to them, how we choose to react to them. But there are circumstances and energies streaming into the planet these days that are different. And there's anyway, I don't want to talk too much about it. I could easily talk for an hour about the various cycles that are affecting us and blah blah blah. Anything else? Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to talk now about this thing called mantra. So the first thing I guess to talk about is what is a mantra, or better still, what isn't a mantra? Because that word, like many words, has been watered down a lot and used a lot in popular culture, which is good. I mean, it's good that popular culture be more aware of this thing called a mantra. But what a mantra isn't, it's not a slogan. You hear people saying, oh, I've decided I'm not going to drink beer anymore. That's my new mantra. That's not really what a mantra is. That's a slogan or an affirmation or something. So a mantra is something a lot bigger than that. A mantra is a collection of power sounds. So a power sound is a sound that has an innate capacity to interact with human consciousness and affect a change. That's what a power sound is. And so to understand that, I'm going to do a little demonstration with the guitar. So we already talked about what a chord is, right? A chord is, in music, if you have one note, you have one note. If you have several notes sounding at the same time, that's called a chord, right? So, is this on? No. Just so the people at home can also hear. Yes. Thank you all, you people at home, by the way, for watching. There we go. Okay, so in music there's something called a major chord. A lot of you might know what that is. So it's a very specific collection of chords, of 3 notes. Okay, so a major chord, if we listen to it, what feeling does it have? It has a fairly uplifting, positive, happy, kind of neutral-ish kind of feeling. So if we change one of those notes, just change one, what feeling does that chord have? It's completely different, isn't it? It reacts, it affects us down in our chest, in our hearts, in a completely different way. And it's only a half-tone difference. Okay, so that's a demonstration of how, for some reason that we don't totally understand, that collection of sounds has a completely different emotional quality to it. And it affects us at a deep level in our hearts differently than the major chord did. So why is that? We don't know. We don't know why. So similarly, that's how a mantra works. That's how a power sound works. So one of the mystical bodies of knowledge that I referred to earlier is something called the Tantras, which is a collection of knowledge that happened thousands of years ago that's part of the Hindu traditions, as well as the Vedas and other mystical bodies of knowledge. But the Tantras have brought us all kinds of really fascinating information, things that science, again, is catching up to now, like the idea of a Big Bang and all kinds of things. And one of the things that the Tantras talk about is sound. And somehow they figured out what sounds affect what part of human consciousness way back in the days probably when we were more right-brained. So yeah, they put together this knowledge and put together all these power sounds that have evolved into these things we call mantras. So just a few interesting things about mantras. The names of gods in Sanskrit mantras. By the way, there's the use of chanting and mantras of different kinds in a lot of different cultures, but one of the bigger ones is the Sanskrit based cultures. And a lot of the names of gods are in these mantras, like Shiva and Shakti or whatever, a lot of these kinds of names. In my opinion, back thousands of years ago when when we were, again, more right-brained, more intuitive, less logical, when that kind of consciousness dominated the planet, and that's according to the Mayans, that was about 5,000 years ago when it started switching into a patriarchy around 5,000 years ago. But before 5,000 years ago, I believe that people revered these power sounds because they just understood at an intuitive level their capacity to affect them. So these sounds like Shiva, it was originally a sound, and as we evolved into a patriarchy and a more left-brain dominated society, we felt the need to take those sounds and assign a persona to them, and they became gods with a small g. That's my opinion. But originally, those gods are sounds. Shiva is a sound, and it has an effect on us, etc. That's my opinion. I also have an opinion about something called the Tetragrammaton, which is from the Hebrew tradition. Are you familiar with that word? No? Okay, Well, let me back up a little bit and talk about the idea that magic and sound have gone together all the time. Like the idea of an incantation, which has the same root in it, cant, as chant. Incantation, like abracadabra, the idea that sound can affect change in a magic way. Magic, you know, not the Hollywood / Las Vegas kind of magic, but the kind of magic that means our ability to attract and control the circumstances that are around us. That's what magic traditionally meant. And so the affiliation of sound and magic goes back a long way. Right? So one of the great magical sounds was said to be this tetragrammaton, which was the name of God, which was a four-letter word that evolved into Yahweh and then into Jehovah. But originally it was a sound. And it struck me one day that that's the same sound that happens when one overtones. Are you guys familiar with overtone singing? I'm going to demonstrate it a little bit. My voice is not warmed up, but I'll try to demonstrate it a bit. Okay, so you can hear that there's a fundamental note happening, and then there's these overtones dancing on the top. So in order to get those overtones, your mouth is often doing Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh inside, what's happening inside my mouth. So again, my theory is that the tetragrammaton was originally that set of sounds which had a very powerful magical quality to them, and that eventually, similarly, as we became more left-brained, we felt the need to assign a persona to that, and that persona became Yahweh and then Jehovah. If there was a rabbi in the crowd today, he would probably seriously debate that. But anyway, so that's what a power sound is, and that's what a mantra is. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be chanting together. So a chant usually is a mantra that is put to music, that I was talking about earlier. So typically a mantra, when one does it in a japa way, you know what japa beads are? It's a circle of beads, or a string of beads, 108 of them. So typically, according to Tantra, the most effective number of repetitions is 108. And usually when you do a mantra, you do them 108 times, but not necessarily when you do them in the form of a chant. When you put a mantra to music, it becomes a chant, and now it has the capacity to live on in your consciousness because of the melody, and the beat of it just keeps it alive in your consciousness better. So that's the advantage of chanting. So I don't have too much more to say other than, wow, we're going to have a great time today chanting, and we're going to make a beautiful thing happen. So it's nothing to be taken too lightly, the idea that together, if we hold the intention in our heart to send love out into the greater world, and if we all have that intention, we're going to be doing something very powerful today. If one person has an intention, it's a powerful thing. If two people share the same intention, then it goes up basically exponentially. Like 2 people, the intention would be 4 times as powerful. 3 people would be 9 times as powerful. 10 people, 100 times more powerful. 100 people would be 10,000 times more powerful. So, and then, as you saw in the demonstration, if you add sound to those intentions, it's hugely powerful. So, rest assured that as we're doing this today, and not only are we having a great time and feeling all this joy, we're making a beautiful thing happen. We're causing a beautiful thing to go out into the universe. We're projecting, broadcasting, I don't know what the right word is, and it's also going out online. So we're doing something fairly big today. So, looking forward to it. Thank you very much. Can I take this off now? what's next? Are we going into dinner now? Is that, or to lunch? Or are you going to talk? Sorry.
Marcia, if you'd also let people know online that we're going to be live streaming at 12:30, so they can participate in the chanting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dennis, for part one.
You're welcome.
You have no idea how far up my alley you've gone with all this talk about energy and so on, and demonstrating. And the good news for those of you who are online, we'll be live streaming the chanting session starting at 12:30. So, if you have things to do, get them done.
Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time, yeah. Okay, so let's go towards our conscious giving. And you know that if you are moved by what you have seen today, or generally by our messages, you may send us an e-transfer to admin at unityspiritualcenter.com. So let's say together for the gifts that we are to receive. Divine love that I am, blesses all I give and all I receive. Thank you. And just for a few notices, you would have, those of you who are in the sanctuary, 2 sheets. One is the schedule for our holiday services and other events. And all of this is going to be online, so don't think you're missing out. And also, there's going to be a Christmas concert with Crystal Journey, Paste Planet and Symphonic Gongs, Persian Santours, Harmonica and Quartz Crystal Bowls. This is going to happen on Friday, December 23rd, just before Christmas, right here at our brand new sanctuary, 289 Queenston Road in Hamilton, Ontario. Starting at 7:30, it's going to be for 2 hours until 9:30. There's a cost attached to it, and it's going to be $30 per person, and you may pay at the door, or if you'd like to make a reservation for tickets, you may contact Rev Ann at unityspiritualcenter.com, and Ann has an E at the end. Okay.
I just thought of something I forgot.
Okay.
Do you mind if I use your mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, you might find these little flyers on your seat. So I belong to a band called the Vajra Collective. We do very danceable, upbeat kind of music, and there's a CD available on the table if anyone's interested. But David Hickey, who's doing the Crystal Journey here, is a good friend of ours, and we're doing an event together on Friday, December 30th, which is the night before New Year's Eve, at the Burlington Lions Club, 471 Pearl Street, Burlington, Ontario. What else? It starts at 7:30 till 11:30. Doors open at 7. Tickets are available at Eventbrite. The cost is $45 a person. And this is, like, don't get it confused with, like, David will be doing his thing first, but then when the Vajra hits the stage, get your dancing boots on, because it's going to be that kind of a thing, more of a typical New Year's Eve celebration with dancing and cavorting.
We'll post it on Facebook.
We'll post it. Great, great. I appreciate that. And one last thing I should have mentioned, but because I'm such a poor business person, I do have some CDs for sale in the other room, and some art cards. I'm a painter, so some of my paintings are available as cards. I have a business card and whatever.
And your books too, right?
You know, I have no printed books left. You can still buy them online as e-books, but yeah, if I get enough demand, I'll get a bunch more printed, but most I don't have any more. Sorry. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis. There's so much going on. It's really exciting. So just know that we are here to pray with you, and if you have a request, you may send it to prayer@unityspiritualcenter.com. So we are going to, before we head into our dining area for the potluck and the workshop that's going to start at 12:30, let's just have a prayer for protection, and you know that that's written by James Dillett Freeman. So we'll say it together. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. So let's end with our peace song.
And there be peace on earth, let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my song about. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for your presence today.
Are we ready? Are we ready, Rand? Yeah.
Ta-da!
Randy. Okay, are we ready, everybody? Okay, I just want to say a few things before we start. Once we get started, it'd be great if there was not too much chit-chat, as this is going to be kind of like a meditation. And so between chants, it's a good idea to just kind of close your eyes and allow the chant to sink in, so to speak. What else? So I'd like to start with some toning. So I'm gonna. Is it comfortable to stand? Do you have room to stand up in that chair configuration? So let's start by standing up. Oh, I guess I have to. I'm going to remain seated because I need to. This is being, for those of you that don't know, this is being broadcast to 200-ish people. Okay, so we're just going to tone. What we're going to do is choose a note that's nice and comfortable for you, lower note, and when you run out of breath, just take another breath and.
Just you're in the way of the camera. You're just in the way of the camera. That's all. Or how about you just sit down?
Sit with the one with the pillow.
There.
Yeah, you can stay seated. That's no problem. Great. Aren't we all? Okay, so where was I? So, this is going to be the kind of thing where collectively we're toning, and it's going to rise in intensity and then come back down. So I ask you, like, when you finish your note, don't wait for the rest of the group. When you finish your note, just take another breath and keep going. And choose every time you choose a note, choose one that's a little bit higher. And then when you get to kind of the top, then do the opposite on the way back down. Okay? And treat this like a meditation, sound meditation. Okay, here we go. Great, thanks. I'm going to hand these out. If you want to pass these around, please. No, you can sit. Hi, Karen. Okay, the first one is a chant to the god Ganesha, which is the guy in charge of removing obstacles. It's a call response. Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha. Ganesha Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha. Ganesha Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha. Ganesha Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha. Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha.
Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha. Ganesha 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 Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha. Narayana, Om Narayana, Om Narayana, Om Narayana. Om Narayana, Om Narayana, Om Narayana, Om Narayana.
This next one might be a little familiar. Not as a song from the 50s. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Right, this next one is an African chant. And the first line means, may I live a long life, and the second line means, may we live a long life. Pardon me a sec. Kashadarbo Awa Kashadarbo Emi 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 Kashadarbo Kashadarbo Emi Kashadarbo Awa
Shadarbo, Awaka Shadarbo, Emika Shadarbo, Awaka Shadarbo, Awaka Shadarbo, Awaka Shadarbo, Awaka Shadarbo, Awaka Shadarbo.
We had the band cooking on that one. The goddess Kali is the goddess of destruction. And that sounds kind of scary, but it really is. It just stands for, before we can have a new beginning, we have to destroy the old. Jama Kalima Durgema, Jama Kalima
Kalima Durge Ma Jama Kalima Durge Ma Jama Kalima Durge Ma. swaha. Gate, gate, Argate, Arasam gate, Bodhiswaha. Gate, gate, Argate, Arasam gate, Bodhiswaha. This is another African chant. This is actually a fertility chant. So if some of you women get pregnant, don't blame me. Tu-tu-way, marima, tu-tu-way. Tu-tu-way, marima, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Tu-tu-way, barima, tu-tu-way. Tu-tu-way, barima, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Tu-tu-way, barima, tu-tu-way. Tu-tu-way, barima, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Tu-tu-way, barima, tu-tu-way. Tu-tu-way, barima, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Barima, tu-tu-way. Tu-tu-way, barima, tu-tu-way. Tu-tu-way, barima, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Ambassador, amadawa, dawa, tu-tu-way. Tuwe, barima tuwe. Tuwe, barima tuwe. Ambasa dawa, madawa, dawa, tuwe. Ambasa dawa, madawa, dawa, tuwe. Barima 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 tuwe. Earlier I mentioned a mantra that takes away fear, which is a pretty handy mantra to have these days. So that's what this next chant is. Takes away fear. Shante prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Shante prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Shante prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Shante prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Shante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Shante prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Shante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Shante prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Shante prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Prashante sarvabhaya upashamani swaha. Upashamani Swaha. Shanti Prashanti Sarvabhai 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 Upashamani Swaha. Shall we end with another toning thing like we started with? Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Anne, for inviting me. Randy, Reverend Randy and Reverend Anne. Thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Love you all. Namaste.